Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session of the Daily News Analysis by SRIRAM'S IAS, where we take up the important articles featuring in the Hindu newspaper and break them down for our understanding from the UPSC examination point of view. So let's start our today's discussion by taking the important articles which feature in the New Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper. And let's take up our first article for the day. The first article which appears in the newspaper reads, "The weakest link in the air pollution fight." Now, this particular article appears in the editorial section of the newspaper and talks about the most important cause or concern that is going on at least in the capital of the country right now, that is of air pollution. And this particular article talks about the weakest link that is going on in this air pollution fight, or in the air pollution governance. What is the weakest link? And according to the authors, the weakest link are the government bodies which are responsible for dealing with this pollution. So which are the bodies which are responsible for dealing with air pollution? It is the Central Pollution Control Board on the central level and the State Pollution Control Board at the state level. So this particular article focuses on the functioning of these bodies, especially the CPCB and the SPCB, as to how exactly are they weak and what are they lacking when it comes to equipping themselves best for this air pollution fight. And it is so important right now, as we are recording here in Delhi. This time, especially in Delhi, is known for the air pollution to get worse. The air quality of Delhi has set to go on to the severe levels, and stage 3 of the graded response action plan has kicked in already. So therefore, this article becomes important from these institution point of view. So let's understand first what these institutions are, what are these bodies, and what are the issues which the authors are flagging out. So when we talk about the Central Pollution Control Board, this is a statutory organization which is also the nodal body which takes care of handling the air pollution. So it is a statutory organization. What do we mean by a statutory organization? Any body which is formed under a Parliament Act passed by the Parliament, that kind of a body is known as a statutory body, since it's formed from a statute. So CPCB is one such statutory organization which was constituted in September 1974 under the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. So this is an important point which is to be remembered, a question on which has already been asked in the UPSC examination as to under which act is the Central Pollution Control Board constituted. So it is the Water Pollution Act. We might wonder, the body constituted under the Water Pollution Act, how is it handling the air pollution governance? So the point to be noted here is that initially it was tasked with handling the water pollution, and therefore it was constituted under the Water Pollution Act, and later it was extended to air pollution governance as well, and hence it came to have the powers under the Air Pollution Act as well. It was entrusted with the powers and functions under the Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act, which was then passed later in the year 1981. This is how it came to hold many functions and many portfolios under its belt, and later on it served as a field formation and also provides technical services to the Ministry of Environment and Forest to the provisions of the Environment Protection Act 1986. So this is the background information with respect to the Central Pollution Control Board. Now let's take a look at what are the issues that the authors are highlighting with the functioning of these bodies. So the issues that the authors are highlighting, the first one is of the composition of the SPCBs, which is a matter of serious concern, as the important stakeholders and those with crucial expertise are missing in most states. So what the first issue over here is that any body, be that the CPCB or the SPCB, is constituted by a member body who has a chairman. This is the cause of concern first, where the body that is making up the Central Pollution Control Board or the state boards are grossly inadequate, wherein those members who should be in the body as members are missing, and a lot of those people are there who might face conflict of interest, such as those over 50% of the board members across 10 state pollution control boards studied represent potential polluters, which means that the members who are there in the body who are supposed to curb pollution themselves are said to belong to those sectors, such as local authorities, industries, public sector corporations. So they are subject to the SPCB's regulatory measures, and their overwhelming presence raises fundamental questions around conflicts of interest. So this is the first major issue as to the the people who are supposed to head the body and take decisions are themselves coming from areas which might have direct conflicts of interest from the air pollution concern, then those people who are of knowledge and are supposed to be experts of the field, they are constituted only around 7% in number. Those can be scientists, medical practitioners and academics. They only constitute 7% of the total members. What is even more worrying is that most boards do not meet the statutory requirement of having at least 2 board members who have knowledge of and experience in air quality management. So this is also a serious issue in terms of the competency which is flagged off by the authors. Then the second issue which they point out is about the leadership, which means that the chairperson and the member secretary do not enjoy a long, stable and full-time tenure. So there is uncertainty when it comes to the tenure of these chairpersons and members, which is why they can anytime be removed from their posts. And when this happens, the autonomy and competency of these members does come into question. So this is the second issue which they flag out. And the third one is that the SPCBs are critically understaffed. So not just the members and the chairpersons, but even the other staff which is supposed to work in these bodies is very inadequate, and therefore the bodies are understaffed. At least 40% of all sanctioned posts are vacant across 9 SPCBs for which there is data. And vacancy levels in technical positions are as high as 84% in Jharkhand and 75% in Bihar and Haryana. So these are the 3 issues which the authors highlight when it comes to the Central Pollution Control Board and the State Pollution Control Boards, which form a big pillar in terms of air pollution governance and the fight to curb air pollution, not just in Delhi but in other parts of the country as well. So this was our discussion with respect to this article, and with this let's move on to our next article for the day. The next article which appears in the newspaper reads, Manipur bans hunting of the Amur falcons. Now this particular article appears in the newspaper highlighting the importance of Amur falcons. Now, who are the Amur falcons? The photo on the screen shows us they are one of the smallest raptors on earth, and one can say the longest migratory birds who initially breed in the Siberian region in Russia and China and travel all the way to migrate to India and Africa. So in this context, it becomes important for us from the examination perspective to know about the Amur falcons from the environment perspective. So Amur falcons are the world's longest traveling raptors who start traveling with the onset of winters, right? So whenever in the breeding grounds or in the initial habitat centers the winter gets harsh, that's when the migratory birds start to migrate. Therefore, these raptors breed in southeastern Siberia. This is the region where the Amur falcon breed, and then they travel via migratory path crossing from India to Africa. So they breed in Siberia and northern China and migrate in millions across India and then over the Indian Ocean to the southern Africa before returning to Mongolia and Siberia. Their 22,000 kilometer migratory route is one of the longest among all avian species. So this is the speciality of the migratory route of the Amur falcon. They get their name from the Amur river that forms the border between Russia and China. That is why they're known as Amur falcons. The Doyang Lake in Nagaland is better known as the stopover for the Amur falcons during their annual migration from the breeding grounds to warmer South Africa. Thus, Nagaland is also known as the falcon capital of the world. This is where the article comes in focus, where since the Amur falcon make a stopover at regions such as Nagaland and Manipur, where thousands of Amur falcon come and reside, therefore it makes a major task for us to conserve their population. And what happens in these regions? Illegal hunting, capturing, trade of Amur falcon takes place. So which is why it is necessary to curb these activities, and that is why the Manipur government has put a ban on hunting and killing of the Amur falcons. Therefore, these Amur falcons also have the greatest protection under the Act. So as far as their status is concerned, they are of least concern under the IUCN list, but the species is protected under the Indian Wildlife Protection Act and the Convention on Migratory Species, to which India is a signatory. So under the Wildlife Protection Act, it is a crime to either hunt or kill or trade in Amur falcons. So this is the information regarding the Amur falcons, and with this let's move on to our next article for the day. The next article which appears in the newspaper reads, Modi calls for roadmap to develop Mangarh Dham as the global tribal destination. So currently Prime Minister visited Mangarh Dham, which is in Rajasthan, and he gave out a speech wherein the monument at Mangarh Dham should be declared as a monument of national importance. So in this backdrop, it becomes important for us to understand what exactly is the significance of Mangarh Dham, what historical event is this place related to, and the tribes which took part in this event. Let's also understand about the tribe concerned from this event, which is the Bhil tribe. So what is the Mangarh Dham? This is the monument which is there in Rajasthan, and what is it commemorating? It actually commemorates a massacre that took place in this region in which the Bhil tribal people were involved. This place is known for the massacre of the tribals that took place 6 years before the Jallianwala Bagh incident happened, and therefore is sometimes referred to as the Adivasi Jallianwala. What happened over here? British forces killed hundreds of Bhil tribals on November 17, 1913 in the hills of Mangarh on the border of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Why did they open fire? They fired on the protesters who were demanding abolition of the bonded labor system and relaxation in heavy agricultural taxes imposed by the rulers of princely states. So much like the nature of the other tribal revolts and the peasant revolts that we see around in this time, this revolt was also on the reasons for increase in the agricultural taxes and the demand for abolition of the bonded labor system by the British. And when thousands of protesters were demanding this, British Indian Army opened fire on these protesters, and therefore this particular one can say the monument has been erected to commemorate in the memory of these particular tribals who were killed in this massacre. So it is located in the district of Gujarat-Rajasthan border, a region with a large tribal population. And when it comes to the personalities who took part in the event, social reformer Govind Guru led the gathering of tribals and the forest dwellers in 1913 in Mangarh against the British Raj. But eventually he was killed in the open fire that took place. So the tribes or the tribal people who were killed in this incident are the Bhil tribes. Bhil tribal people are supposed to reside all over India, but their major population is situated in the Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and the Maharashtra region. So let's understand few things about the Bhil tribe. This tribe derives its name from Veal, which means bow in the Dravidian language. And the Bhil tribe is called Dhanush Purush of India because they are highly adept at learning the Dhanush or the bow and arrow. Bhils are a group of tribal Indians scattered throughout India from Gujarat into the as far as west, as far as Tripura in the far east. And as of 2013, they were the largest tribal group in India, with the majority living in Gujarat, MP, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Bhils have a rich and unique culture, and the Bhilala subdivision is known for its Pithora painting. So their culture is also rich, where the major painting that they indulge is in the Pithora painting, and the dance form which is famously associated with them is the Ghumar dance form. So this is the important information with respect to the Bhil tribe, and with this we finish this article and let's move on to the next article for the day. The next article which appears in the news reads, Invasive Tree Spreading Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. Now this particular article becomes important from the examination point of view because the mention of invasive species has been quite in focus by the UPSC in the prelims examination, and therefore from this article we'll understand what is this invasive species that has taken charge of the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. Now the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve is in the state of Tamil Nadu, and this is the picture of the invasive tree species which has taken over this tiger reserve. What is the name? Senna spectabilis is the name of this invasive species, which is an exotic tree, which means that this tree species does not belong natively to the Indian subcontinent and has been brought in India from some other part of the world, from some other continent. This is what invasive species means. Now what do these invasive species do? Whenever a tree or a plant species is planted from some other part of the world, what it does is, whenever it resides in its foreign landform, slowly it takes over the ecosystem of the present landform and the ecosystem, and whatever species were flourishing natively, it starts to kill those species and take place of them. This is what exactly the invasive species do, and therefore they pose great danger to the ecosystem of this native place. Similar is the impact which the Senna spectabilis is having in the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, which is situated in the Nilgiri hills of Tamil Nadu. What it is doing, it was first introduced as an ornamental species and for use as firewood from southern and central America, and the species has become highly invasive in the Sigur Plateau in both the core and buffer zone of the MTR. So the tree species which was earlier planted in the forest for firewood now has taken over close to 800 to 1200 hectares of the land of Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. That has been the rapid growth of the invasive species over here. And what impact is it having on the ecosystem? This tree, which grows up to 15 to 20 meters in a short period, gives thousands of seeds after gregarious flowering, and the thick foliage arrests the growth of other indigenous tree and grass species and causes food shortage for the wildlife population, especially the herbivores. Moreover, the wildlife will not feed on the leaf of the trees as it is not palatable for them. And the allochemicals produced by this plant adversely affect the germination and growth of the native species. This is the adverse impact which the invasive species have on the natural ecosystem of some other part of the world. So this was a discussion with respect to this article. We come to the end of today's discussion, and let's meet tomorrow with the important articles from the newspaper. Thank you.